What's going on, hikers? In today's video, we're going to take a look inside of my backpack. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeremiah Stringer, and here we talk about all things hiking and backpacking. So if you're into that kind of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. A little bit of info, just real quick. I got back from a 4-day trip through the Smoky Mountains. We didn't hit the AT, we went from Smokemont Campground to Clingman's Dome. So today, I'm going to give you a look at what gear I took and what clothing that I took for camp. Everything except for what I was wearing at the time is in this backpack, and I gotta tell you, it's really smelly. I'm not going super in depth on any specific piece of gear, but if you want to read more about it, you can click. I will link everything in the description. Those are affiliate links, so if you buy something, I'm gonna make some money. Okay, the temps I was preparing for was lows between 35 and 45 and highs between 65 and 75. This is the Osprey Atmos 65 liter, my Cadillac of backpacks. I weighed this backpack after I got home. No water, does have the fuel still in there. This food bag just has trash in it. And it weighed, as you can see, right around, I can't remember. Whatever's in this picture is what it weighed. On the outside of the pack, if we want to start there, I took some camp shoes. These are 99 cents at Walmart. Sometimes good for one night, sometimes they tear up. On the long trail, my thru hike, they lasted me a month, so you never know. This is my poop kit. It has toilet paper, wipes, an extra lighter, and a deuce of spades. Also on the outside of my pack is my sit pad. This thing is great for a lot, including fanning fires, and if you take a chair, like I have strapped to the outside of my backpack, this is basically an underquilt for your chair to keep that booty warm. We have a $30 Frog Togs. Among the stinkiest on the trail, I have to say, it was a great mid-layer too. I usually take 2 puffies if I'm preparing for colder temperatures. This time I took, well, you'll see here in just a second, 1 puffy, and then I use that on the outside of the puffy if I got really cold. But a lot of times I hiked with the Frog Togs as my mid layer, just a shirt and then Frog Togs. I stuck some stinky wet socks. Oh, ooh, that smells disgusting. Just a little extra cordage. I was doing some maintenance on my tarp while I was out there. This Osprey Atmos, it has 2 zippers on the outside in addition to the mesh pocket. I have here everything I use for water, and that includes a platypus 2.5 to 3 liter bladder just for squeezing water through this Sawyer squeeze. A little hack for you: you can cut off the tube and this one coupling on the Sawyer squeeze so that it inserts into your bottle easier and stays. And this table is getting really dirty pulling all this dirty camp stuff out. This is my scoop. I cut off the top of a Sawyer squeeze bag, a 1/2 liter. They usually bust, and that's when I cut them off. An extra cap, another extra bottle cap, since the Sawyer and the Smart Water bottles all use the same size threads. And then I have a couple flavor packets. Now I like to keep Noon tablets, I used them all on this trip, and some flavor packets in my water bag. And the reason I do that is because it reminds me to use those things. I try to use 4 Noon tablets a day to help stay hydrated. This is a miscellaneous bag. It has an O-ring for my Sawyer squeeze because I've lost a number of them. And then I brought some of these little Duraflame fire starters basically as my kindling, and then some tenacious tape if I had to repair, burn holes or anything like that, tears in a piece of gear, especially if it has down in it. I don't want to lose any of that down. On the other side of the pack, I have all of my personal hygiene products, anything from lip balm to toothpaste, toothbrush. I also, people may not know this, I like to bring a little cleaning cloth for my glasses. And my eye doctor was nice enough to give me this little bottle of spray that I bring with me on each trip. Now the rest of that stuff is like ibuprofen, Sudafed, you know, any type of medication that I may need on trail, and then some Band-Aids. That's all for the outside of the backpack, except for my 2 water bottles. I got a 1/2 liter or a 0.7 liter and a 1 liter bottle, and a chair strapped to the bottom. For those of you wondering what kind of chair I use, I'm not gonna take it out because I'm too lazy, but Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, Backpacking with Jason, gave me a Hygiene chair. I think I'm gonna replace it pretty soon with a 1 pound chair, because this one weighs 2 pounds. I don't like carrying the extra weight. On the front of my pack, you can see I have just an Equate Germex, and on the other side, a towel to wipe off my sweaty face from all that hard hiking I'm doing. Now at the bottom, you can't see, it's off camera, but my hip belt pockets, I like to keep my headlamp and another lighter. And then the other side, yeah, this thing really does stink pretty bad. I like to keep an $8 or $10 knife I bought at Walmart. This is a Kershaw. I have no idea how much it weighs, but it's so cheap. I just bought like 4 of them. So if I lose them, I replace them. And then some basic AirPods. I gotta say, I do not like having those cords hanging from me while I'm wearing this backpack, you know, on the trail. Sometimes it gets hung on trees, you know, whatever. A GSI, I believe it's the Soloist. Yeah, Pinnacle Soloist. Am I saying that right? Sometimes I can't talk. Inside here, I have the Pocket Rocket Deluxe. It may be the second one. I can't exactly remember, but it is greasy and wet and gross. Like that thing, because you can turn the flame up and down and you can cook pretty much whatever you wanted. I have a towel that I'm gonna throw in the trash as soon as this video is over, one of those little camp towels. A 1/2 canister of used propane isobutane mix. And then I love this little cup that you get with the Soloist. This whole thing, not including the stove and canister, cost me, I believe, 50 bucks. Like I said, I'll link it in the description. But the lid, what's really cool is you can use this cup, and it's got measurements on the inside of the cup and the inside of the pot. You turn the lid over and you click it, and this is now your coffee mug. And you can even drink your coffee on trail as you're walking out, because this is like the lid on a McDonald's coffee cup. And it just has a little opening here and then vents on the other side for easy use. Now, getting to the good stuff, in my hydration sleeve inside the backpack, I have some Tyvek. Normally I use like the plastic that you cover windows with, but I wanted to try out the Tyvek. Got some for free, so it's like, why not? I have 4 tent stakes, which I use for my tarp on the hammock you're about to see. I have my bear hanging kit. Now, this is from Hilltop Packs. They didn't sponsor this video. I will shout them out. Ben McMillan, he put my face on this from my logo. Unfortunately, I used the bear line on my tarp on this trip, so sorry Ben, I cannibalized it. For my puffy, I like to keep it in the top of my pack because I want quick access to it for those, you know, the times you stop on trail and it's just cold and you can throw it on real quick. Ghost Whisperer, okay for 40s, 50s temps. I have a Patagonia wool fleece line beanie. For my shelter setup, I have a 13-foot custom tarp. I have my Brad Pod, I call it. Miyagi on the Trail hooked me up with this sweet bag I can keep my straps. These are, I believe, 15-foot straps from Dutch wear, that is, with Dutch clips and beetle buckles. And then I have a Ridgeline in here from UGQ. I have the Pride of Kentucky, which is the name of my hammock. If you haven't seen or saw, whichever one of those words it is, I'll link it above and you can check out the whole hammock setup if you're really into hammocks. I have a 20,000 milliamp hour charger or portable charger or battery bank. All those are synonymous. And in there, an iPhone cord, and then a USB, a micro USB, I believe it is. I really need to get a smaller one. This thing weighs over a pound. Look at that. This is my 0 degree UGQ overstuffed underquilt. 0 degree. It was super, super warm, especially on this trip. I may have could have taken a 40 degree, to be honest. For camp clothes, the next things I'm pulling out, I brought some shorts. I brought an extra pair of underwear. And for those of you, if you want a little hack for the underwear, turn them inside out on day 2. Then you got 2 days out of a pair. Put on your new ones, turn those inside out, whenever you've worn them for a day. These are Under Armour 3.0 base layer. They're fairly expensive, but in my opinion, well worth it. They do fit pretty tight though, so I would probably size up if I get some of those. Let's see. I have a 100% cotton Rick and Morty t-shirt as my camp shirt. Notice everything is in plastic. Okay, I have this one plastic bag here, and the goal is to keep anything from getting wet. It didn't rain on this trip though, so we got lucky. I have a like $15 Trekology pillow that is inflatable. Also in camp clothing, I have 2 like wool blend socks. Just bought them at Walmart. They're pretty cheap, but they keep my toesies warm. And then for my sleeping bag, I am wanting to upgrade to a quilt because this thing is pretty heavy, in my opinion. It is a 15 degree Nemo Disco. And I bought it before I went on my long trail hike, so that's actually what I used the entire time on the long trail. Sorry about all the rattling. This is just a compactor bag to keep everything dry inside my backpack. And we're digging in here deep. Look at this. A whole lot of nothing. That's everything inside my pack. Hope you've enjoyed, folks. If you did, make sure you comment below. Tell me what you thought. Give me one of these. Subscribe to the channel. Hey, we'll see you in the next video.